Welcome to Lovely Day Farmette. I'm Geraldine. Today I'm excited to share with you some insight into soil blocking. So what is soil blocking? Soil blocking is an alternative to starting seeds in plastic cell trays or plug trays. And because you're not using plastic cell trays each year, you don't have to worry about them breaking or cracking after every few years and then having to purchase new ones. And it is also much more sustainable for the environment. And so I was all in when I heard about this method, and I've been so excited to give it a go this year. The machines that create these soil blocks are right here. They're made by Ladbroke, and they are made in England. They're fantastic. They are a little bit of an investment up front. I paid about $75 for this kit, which also came with a few attachments to create the divots to put the seeds in. But I think over the long run, they will be definitely worth it. And I'm already getting so much value out of it this year, and I won't have any empty cell trays to worry about at the end of the season to store as well. And you're able to start so many seeds in a small amount of space. And so I don't have a greenhouse. I start my seeds on a shelf in my basement with fluorescent lights, and I have been able to start thousands of seeds already. And so what are the benefits of soil blocking? So I'm going to show you a 2-inch soil block here. This is a sugar snap pea seed that I sowed about 2.5 weeks ago in a 2-inch soil block using this machine. And as you can see, the roots are not wrapped around as they would be in a plastic cell tray. And so when you transplant it out, it's supposed to be a little bit better for the plant, a little bit less shock, and the plant grows a little bit more vigorously. So I'll definitely keep you updated on how these sugar snap peas do. I also have some beautiful fava beans that are looking really great, healthy, strong little seedlings as well. And so I'll show you a 3/4 inch using this soil blocker. This is Chinese forget-me-nots. They have been growing so well in these tiny little 3/4 inch little chunks of soil. And here I have some peppers and some bee balm going on. These have been the only two that I have found that I have needed so far. They also come, aside from this 3/4 inch and this 2-inch, they also come in 1.5 inch. And they also have a 2-inch one, I believe, where you can stand and push it out. That one is much more expensive. But the reason I like these is because you can start the seed small here, and if you need to pot up and go into a larger soil block, you can nest the tinier 3/4 inch soil block into the 2-inch soil block. So it would create a little bit of a divot at the top, and then you would nestle your little tiny soil block in. So for example, I'll show you my little 3/4 inch little tiny soil block with that little beautiful seedling in there, and you would nestle that into the divot. Let's talk about soil block mix. So I made my own homemade soil block mix using 1/3 part seed starting mix, 1/3 part organic potting soil, and 1/3 part compost. I mixed them all together into a big Rubbermaid tub, and then I moistened it with some water. And I put enough water so that it had the consistency of brownie batter, almost like putting it in your hands and feeling like you can kind of mold it into a ball, mold it into a little block. Well, you're going to be using a little bit more water than you might think because it has to be compacted into here. And if it's too dry, it's just going to crumble apart when you push these down to create your soil block. So after you mix the soil really well, I let it sit for about an hour or two. I've also done it where I used it right away. I do find it a little bit better if I wait about 2 hours, 3 hours, so that the water can absorb. But if you don't have that time, it is also possible to use it right away. So in order to make the actual soil block, you take the machine and then you wiggle it down, making sure to get all of the soil block mix in there. And I usually press it all the way as far as I can go down. And then I do it again about 2 or 3 more times. And then I use my hands in order to compact it a little further down, and I even scrape off the edges, and then I'm ready to go ahead and release the soil blocks into my tray of choice. So here I'm using a black cafeteria tray. I've also used aluminum trays, which have been amazing and worked out well, especially for the bigger 2-inch soil blocks, like here with the peas and the fava beans. And then I've also used takeout container tops, takeout containers, pie tins, and my favorite has been baking trays, because baking trays can hold so many, especially 3/4-inch soil blocks. And so I really love the idea of using those baking trays, and I find them at thrift shops, at little garage sales, and I try to get them as cheap as I can because they do hold a lot of seeds. The only one thing to consider is some of the seeds will germinate at a different pace. Some of seeds require light to germinate. So I would definitely group those that kind of have the same pace of germination, the same categories of needing light to germinate as opposed to not. Use what you have for sure. That's what I'm doing, just to reuse things that I have around the house and to do it more cost effectively. So these are great ways to save some money as you start seeds at home. Now let's talk about sowing the actual seeds into your soil blocks. These create divots in your soil blocks where you can place the seed into. In order to get those really tiny seeds like the snapdragon seeds, strawberry seeds, I've done the poppy seeds. I use a pencil and I lick the tip of the pencil and I dip it into the seed, and then I put 1 seed per soil block because I've had pretty good germination rates using the soil block method. I know for certain instances you can put 1 to 2 seeds in. I've just used 1 seed, and because I'm able to save so much space with the soil blocking, I felt really good with that. Once you have sown your seeds into your soil block, you have to water them every day. So with your soil blocks, you don't want to water them on top, you want to bottom water them. So you would put the water into the bottom of the tray and come up to about 1/4 of the way from the soil block, and it'll seep it up from the bottom, and it'll keep from your seed washing away if you watered it from the top. So once I sow my seeds into the soil block, I put them under fluorescent lights in a shelf in my basement, and that's where I grow my multitude of seeds. I've started about probably about 2,000, 3,000 seeds at this point, and I've had a lot of success using this method. So I highly encourage, if you're looking for a sustainable, cost-effective, space-saving way to start your seeds indoors or in your greenhouse, I definitely recommend using the soil block method. I've had really good results with it, and I just feel so much better knowing that it's better for our earth and that I'm reducing my own use of plastic and reusing a lot of the things that I already have at home. So every time I order takeout now, I definitely save all my containers just so I can use them for this soil blocking. The best part is it's so much fun to use these soil blockers, and it's something that you can give your kids to do as well. They have a lot of fun. I know my 5-year-old has been helping me out a little bit, and even my 3-year-old too. He would love to water the soil mix together. Thanks for joining me today. Be sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. I can't wait to continue sharing inspiration for your garden, homes, and family table. Also, you can check me out at lovelydayfarmette.com. That's lovelydayfarmette.com. If you'd like more information about these soil blockers and cafeteria trays, you can find them in the information below. Well, thanks for joining me, and I'll see you next time.